When I first saw it, I thought surely no one would do that. We wouldn't see this in Australia, but that's what we've seen. And I think that veterans rightly around the country will be quite upset and quite disappointed in the state Labor decision.
Shocking decision by the South Australian Labor government, because they have just legislated to delete Anzac Day from the Official Holidays Act. This is a 1910 piece of legislation. I just think this is extraordinary. I thought someone must have had it wrong, but they don't. Tell us how veterans will react to this.
I'm not just offended by it, I'm pretty upset, and I think it's disgraceful. This nation was built on hard-fought battles that our brave men and women have fought in, and the freedoms we enjoy is because of that. And to have a state government show no regard, disregard, and remove it out of their Holidays Act and their official documentation, their legislation, I think it's disgraceful. And I know that the opposition, the Liberal Party there, put up an amendment to keep Anzac Day there, and they voted it down. When I first saw it, I thought surely no one would do that. We wouldn't see this in Australia, but that's what we've seen. And I think that veterans rightly around the country will be quite upset and quite disappointed in the state Labor decision in South Australia.
In South Australia, it's like January 26. I mean, 30 years ago, no one would have thought there'd be an attack on Australia Day. That's now being sold as a day of shame. I know lots of Australians, particularly after the Voice result, will have a bit of a pushback against it next year. But do we know the argument they're putting out? Because the calendar says, Easter Sunday, Good Friday, but they get to April 25, and that's all they call it, April 25. Why the decision? Why are they dropping the term Anzac Day? Do we know?
I got a really wishy-washy kind of answer when I kind of explored a little bit.
No, that's too wishy-washy. Too wishy-washy.
And they said, oh, well, the day may change, but the date won't. I'm not really buying that. It's the same when you look at whether it's Australia Day, whether it's Christmas Day, Anzac Day, big days for this nation. And we shouldn't be pushing them to the side and really downplaying what it is. We should be honouring our fallen and paying homage to that, but also being proud of our nation for Australia Day. And I, like hopefully many Australians, will celebrate Christmas Day with our families. So I think that the wishy-washy language that we've got from the state government is not really good enough. And to really go a backwards, backflip on this, I'd hope that they'd like to change this legislation, because it's not in the values that I hold and what many other Australians hold.
No. I think people watching tonight will be disgusted. Phil, I know you love a bit of a fight. You love a campaign. Given the number of veterans around Australia and families of veterans, I think this is one where you could start up a petition and really take the fight up to the Premier and the government.
I will, and you're right. I do like a bit of a fight, and I'll always fight for the veterans and my people and the nation. And I think that the Premier should really reflect on this and make the changes that I think majority of the country would want.
All right, go for it, mate. Come back on next week and tell us how we can sign up to your petition, and we'll get it going. Thanks for your time, Phil Thompson.